Hello, everybody. Welcome back to One Thing at a Time. How you doing, Hailey?
I'm doing fantastic. Would you like to tell the people where we're at right now?
We are on the road. We have
Literally.
but we had just gotten. We're leaving Savannah because we had a wedding. So we just decided that we were just gonna say YOLO and do a car podcast because we don't ever stop talking to each other and might as well turn it into a podcast.
Period.
The only rules that I have for Hailey right now is because she's driving and she needs to look at the road.
Yeah.
So, we apologize in advance if Hailey gets road rage.
No, I'm not gonna get road rage. I don't really get road rage. It's more of like,
Okay, well, if you hear those noises, it's Hailey.
If you hear grunting, it's probably me, and if you hear yelping, it's Olivia being a spaz.
It's me, like, holding on to
like the O poop handles.
So yeah, I guess we're just gonna talk about. Oh, look, there's a deer.
Oh heck no, go away.
We're gonna talk about. Whoa.
That wasn't me. That was them. That was them. Do you see? Oh, they're swerving. They're on the other side of the line now. No. Someone's trying to hit us. Attacking us. Full-fledged.
So, I guess today we're gonna talk about just whatever.
I thought we were talking about some of our flaws in photography.
I'm flawless.
Period.
Yeah, no, we can talk about flaws.
I think we should talk about flaws like entirety of the photography community, and then flaws within ourselves that we want to work on. And then this is like inspiration for the new year.
Period. So, a little housekeeping. We didn't have an episode last week, obviously. I hope that you guys missed us. If you didn't, keep that to yourself. But so you were sick.
Yeah, I had COVID.
And then I got some stomach virus and it just didn't work out. So there's that. And then, yeah, I guess that's all the housekeeping. But we're going to do like a, so for the holidays, like from Christmas until the new year, we're not going to have a podcast for those 2 weeks. I know that you guys are going to be so sad, but, we'll be back, come January, the second week of January. So don't get too upset.
Yeah, and then we have a batch trip coming up, post-batch trip. So we'll be away for that. So.
Yes, for little Missy Moo, even though she's already married. So it's kind of just like a celebration of love and life and marriage. Except Evan's not going to be there. So sorry, Evan.
Illy, we love you.
Okay, so let's just get right into it. Take this one thing at a time. Also, I really hope that they can hear you. You're going to have to speak up.
Okay, I think they can hear me. So, okay. First off, I can hold it a little bit when I drive. Literally, it's fine.
No.
So, I don't need, I'm literally using 2 hands to drive. Anyways, Olivia's like having a spastic aneurysm attack over here. But I'm going to start off a flaw with myself that I need to work on, but I won't work on it actually, because it's not necessarily a flaw. It's just a flaw. So it would be overshooting, because this past wedding, I took 6,000 photos, which is ridiculous. Like, so ridiculous. That's so many photos. Like, that's going to take me so long. And my turnaround time's a week. So it would be like maybe being more intentional with every single shot instead of like, but my shutter's a fast girly. So,
well, let's just be real. Digital cameras are so easy to overshoot with because we have a feature called hydro. And that girlie just goes and she chugs. So I don't think it's ever something that we can really get rid of.
I don't necessarily, like, it just means like more photos. Like I'm just going to be delivering more. So yeah, it's like more work for me, but I'm not going to not do it just because I simply don't want to work. That's like ridiculous. Like if it's a good opportunity to take a photo, I'll take it regardless.
Period. And it's just, you're You're not over delivering. Hailey, get off your phone. You're not over delivering. You're just giving as many as you can to your client because you love them so dearly.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I agree with that.
Okay, one of my biggest flaws in photography is I hate editing.
You're fake.
I just don't like it. I'm more of I love to go out and I love to photograph my couples. I love to pose. I love to do all of that. But when it comes to editing, I could live without it. And yes, I could hire someone to edit for me, but I'm too much of a control freak to do so.
Okay, I love whenever I've had a long day of a wedding and I get to sit down and look through every single photo and like edit it. I think it's like a part of the creative process in my brain. So I've looked into trying to outsource that, but I can't because I just love doing it so much. Like I wish it was not as time consuming, because it's more of like the exporting process that I literally loathe. I If you're not a photographer, you do not understand the struggle. But exporting photos takes so much time. If I could instantly edit a photo and then it just instant transfer, it's super easy, then I would probably be I'd probably have things done and be more efficient. But it's so I loathe exporting and importing. But as far as editing wise, like I love editing. So I don't Were you always like that?
I mean, I love editing sometimes. It just depends.
I mean, I guess it really does. It really does depend on like the shoot, what they're wearing, how the shoot went in general. Like, because if it's a couple that like got in a fight right before and they're like I'm done, and like they're wearing neon yellows and greens, and you're like, okay,
Yeah, that's not something I am necessarily looking forward to. But I mean, I have bought a software that can go through photos for me. And I know for a lot of people that's like really like scary, but it's like not that scary if you think about it because you're still in control like of what you want to deliver and what you don't. So like it goes through everything for me and it picks out all the ones that might be blurry or might be duplicates, but I can still go through and I can pick the ones like if it missed something. You know what I mean?
yeah. I just personally like I'd rather just go through every single one. I don't want a software that because there are a lot of blurry photos, and whoo, there's a lot.
Tired girl.
I'm always yawning on the podcast, dude. I don't every single time. Ugh, I need more coffee. We might stop at a Starbucks. Anywho, yeah, you know what? 100% the next Starbucks we see, we're shopping. So my thing is, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
We were talking about editing softwares.
Yeah, I would rather just go through it every single photo myself and quote unquote suffer, because I didn't remember the stream of thoughts. I like a lot of the blurry, out of focus ones. So I'm okay with getting and going through those. Like they're worth it to me. The thing of sitting there for. Plus, like I need duplicates a lot of the time if I'm doing like a black and white and then a color and then like a fun one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I only do the software sometimes. Like if I am, because guess what, guys? Hailey High makes me edit through my own photos when I second shoot for her.
Okay, listen, it started out, it's a mutual thing, all right? I cull through all of the weddings I do for her and even the session that I did for you, and you cull through the ones that you take for me, because at the end of the day, they are your photos, and if you don't want me posting one. But I will say I haven't done it every single wedding ever. There's been a handful of weddings that I've done all of the culling. It's just most of the time you do it for me.
Yeah.
Out of the gracious and kindness of your heart.
Yes, of course. And
you were going to cull anyways.
Yeah. But most of the time, if it's like a situation like that, I'll use the software. But if it's my wedding, that's typically when I go through every single one. But it just depends on like you know, because sometimes, I mean, softwares aren't perfect. Like, they're not going to grab, what if it dings a picture that you're like, oh no, I need to give this to them. But I could still go through and hunt for it, but it's like,
yeah, there's room for error. There's way too much room for error. I don't trust little robots.
that makes one of us.
Okay.
I really hope that they can't hear the road noise, but I have a feeling that they can, but it might just be very calming.
You might be able to turn it down, like background noise. I don't know how it works.
I don't know how to do all that.
Oh,
Okay, what other flaws do you have?
I am bad at updating my website and updating like the client process to make my life easier. So just like staying on top of like the website, all of that jazz.
Okay, I can understand that, but your website, like what you use, is so confusing.
Yeah, that's part of the reason. And like I said, I hate uploading and exporting. So even getting the pictures themselves to the website, I'm ill about.
Yeah, I've just come to the conclusion, like, I went through all the stages of like grief. You know how like acceptance is the last one.
Yeah.
I just went through like all those 5 stages and accepted the fact that my website is a constant battle. Like, it's always going to need updating, it's always going to need something, there's always going to be some type of error or typo. So I just have to get over it.
Well, I'm doing like just yearly, I'm going to do a refresh with my rebrander because I don't have time to just every single month, every single wedding go and upload it. I simply do not have the time. So I'm going to just upload it when I can. And if not, then I'm doing it once a year when I am like in the slower season and I can just take a breather.
See, I love to, whenever I do a wedding, I love to upload them to my website. I change out images like constantly.
I wish I can't. I don't have the capacity. My brain works by opening, like I'm one of those people that has 60 tabs open at a given moment. Like, don't look at my phone right now.
I almost threw up, guys, because she had literally everything open, and I was like, Hailey, I'm ill.
No, I'm talking about like, look at this. Like, this is how my brain works. I have 241 tabs open. That's the thought process that I have, because like I will think about how I need to save this because I'm going to come back to it, and then it's like there, and it'll be there for the next few months or years. Sometimes I have stuff open years ago that I still need,
and you never remember what they're for.
Well,
you never remember what they're for.
I most of the time don't remember. But I have like this thing that I'm like, attention wise, like I'm in 20 places at once. Multitasking is my middle name. So like I need, you know what I mean? No, yeah, you don't know what I mean, because I just can't. I'll start to do it. I'll get bored. I hate waiting for everything to export. So then I'll get annoyed that I'm waiting for that to export, and it's just not a fun day.
Well, anyways,
my hard drive would stress you out because things are labeled out of, I don't know where anything's at.
Your Lightroom stresses me out to the core.
No, my Lightroom's very organized. There's just a lot of photos.
Girl.
Okay, my biggest flaw is that I have an external hard drive that I put everything on, but I want to keep everything in Lightroom because I want to go back and like edit it or export it and stuff. So my biggest flaw is that I have like, I'm up on all my storage for, I'm talking iCloud, my old phone. I had like 100. I had to upgrade to like 250. My Lightroom is about to bust. My internal hard drive and external hard drive. So basically, yeah.
Basically, she just has a lot of things that she doesn't have the time to do, or she doesn't want to.
Time, and especially energy. Like, I could be doing 20 other things rather than deleting all of the screenshots from my phone that I haven't had time to do in the past year.
Oh my God. That is my worst. That's my biggest flaw.
Yeah.
I, well, not necessarily for photography, but my biggest flaw in life is I will have like a million pictures in my phone, but I never want to get rid of it. Stop looking at the camera. Look at the road. You annoy me. You annoy me. You annoy me.
We've been spending 3 days together, so this is the remnants of that. We haven't had our like time to decompress unless one of us has been in the shower. So
No, but like Hailey, just Hailey always no, you say thoughts outside of like you speak thoughts.
like what?
Like always, like every time. So Hailey is always speaking. So she like is always like, "Oh yeah, by the way," and then it'll be quiet. It's like she hates silence, and so she'll be like, "So what do you think about?" And I'll be like, "Hailey, please just give me a minute."
I'm an external processor. Everything that I'm thinking, it needs to be like verbalized. So like I can't go to bed. Okay, so if Evan's out of town, I have to fall asleep with a podcast. Like last night the past 2 nights I fell asleep to a podcast. Like I can't, my brain is way too constant all the time that I need sound in order to like white noise is great for me going to bed. I can fall asleep with the TV with the light on. I'm like weird, but
well, I wish you would have told me that because I love to fall asleep to the sound of like the beach or the rain. Okay, so next time we'll listen to something, okay?
Put on like 6 hours. But I do have like a very irrational fear that one day it's just gonna have like satanic noises making like and wake me up in the middle of the night because that happened to one of my friends. So
what?
Apparently they've turned on one of those like rainforest sounds 8 hours on like YouTube, and like in the middle of it it woke her up to like satanic worshiping sounds and like grunts and like really bad, like it wasn't an animal, it was like inhuman demonic stuff.
Well, no, I'm talking about the one that the phone has.
The phone has one?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Look. You go to background noises and then you turn on the rain.
What? They have that?
Yeah.
Dude, I did not know that. Olivia teaches me something new every time I'm with her. Like, I'm technologically, like, I thought I was technologically good until I met Olivia. Because she just knows everything when it comes to technology. I don't know how. Like, I try. I don't want to be like this. But she just, I guess maybe the things that you're supposed to read, I click through. Like, I don't like instructions. Oh, that is a flaw of mine. I literally don't read instructions. Like, me and Evan would build something together, and I'm like, oh, let's show this way. And I'm like, and he's like, where are the instructions? I'm like, to what?
Now we're getting more into, like, life flaws.
Okay, well, the camera settings, like, I don't, like, the stuff that's, like, when you update it, like, the Canon app that's, like, tells you what's new, or, like, the phone apps, they're like, let's tell you what's new with this app, or whatever. I just click through it. I don't have the time to read. I hate reading, like words on a page that are on my phone. So, yeah.
Well, we were talking about earlier about the icks that we had, and it was, shall we share? Well, we're kind of off topic. Are you going to stop at a Starbucks?
Yeah, I haven't seen a Starbucks. There's a Wendy's and heck no.
Well, if you stop at a Starbucks, will you get me a tea? Because you order it so good.
Yes, of course. I used to work at Starbucks before I did photography. And I was a barista, obviously, because that's what they're called at Starbucks. We're technically partners. But, anywho, I was going to say that a flaw within the photography community is, pricing. Like, pricing is a whole, and there's, like, subsections of what I'm going to say. So, like, there's controversy and flaws in the photography community when it comes to posting your pricing. Like, people either have a problem with you putting on your website or not putting on your website. People have problems with, like, how much you charge. Everyone's like, yo, you need to charge your worth. But, like, if you're a brand new photographer charging $4,000 for a wedding, like, okay, you might think you're worth like $1,000 for a regular shoe, when in reality it's like you need to be charging like $150. Granted, that's like very like specific as far as like state and like your town and your surrounding area goes, but like, because obviously I'm not going to charge the same thing in Georgia that I'm going to charge in California, because they have a completely different standard of living, but that's beside the point. But like pricing, I feel like, is such a big topic of conversation, because it's like, oh, you can't be discussing pricing with like your fellow photographer friends. Like, you need to be charging, you shouldn't ask what other people's prices are, and you shouldn't base it off that, because then you get into like competition. So like, what do you have to add to that?
Well, I think the reason why we work so well is that we're very open to each other about what is in our pricing and how much we charge. Like, it's not a secret. Like, I know how much Hailey makes and she knows how much I make. And that's just how we work. And also, the whole world knows how much we make because we put it forth. Like, we don't, it's on our websites. Like, you can go and you can look and see how much we charge. Like, it's not a secret. And I never wanted to be one of those vendors where it was a secret, because I feel like that is so annoying.
Even coming from the opposite side of like being a bride, when I would try to inquire with people to see, oh, like how much are they charging, because a lot of the time it's coming down to like budget. If I'm like, oh, I love this photographer, let me find and see how much she is, and she's way out of my price range, I'm not going to inquire with her, because I'm like, oh, I literally can't afford that. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, if there was like someone that's done some mega famous and they charge like 100,000, and I'm like trying to find, like, I had a pretty big budget for photography, because that was like the only thing for our elopement that we like wanted. And it's different than if I were to be like inquiring with like a mega uber famous someone that charges 30,000 for a wedding, because I'd be like, obviously I don't want to waste your time, I don't want you to waste mine, quite frankly. I don't want to hop on a call with you and I don't even know how much you are, and like get my hopes up that I can like be your client, and you're like this crazy unrealistic thing for me. So I feel like everybody needs to be transparent, but coming from a bride, that was so frustrating with vendors, that I couldn't see how much it was. Like, I'd have to inquire and then have to wait sometimes weeks for them to respond, and it's so much of a hassle. If you want to run your business like that, kudos, but like not for me. And not for me as like a buyer, consumer bride, past bride, or current bride.
Right. And so, like, I feel like when you put your pricing forward, you're going to get the clients that you deserve. And also, you're only going to get inquiries that are actually like wanting to book.
Exactly.
So you don't have to really waste that much time, and you don't have to get your hopes up, because I know we get so excited every time we get an inquiry, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know.
If there's a photographer, okay, so I'm a photographer. No,
Are you?
let's say I was a budget bride, and I'm like, okay, I want to find a photographer for under $500. Very unrealistic if you want good photos, by the way, but you know what? Okay, whatever. We all have to start somewhere. So I inquire with Olivia, who is very much above that price range, very much, and has been for a while. But like, I'm dead set on 500. And I look at her website everywhere. I'm like, oh, but I love this. I love her work. I'm falling in love with her. But like, plot twist, she's charging $2,000 for what I want. Like, but the only reason why I know that is because I inquired with her. I hopped on a 45-minute call. Then she went over pricing. And I'm like, okay, well, we could have all just cut this. Like, we didn't really, unless you really just want to meet a bunch of people. But the likelihood of like someone like in this scenario, fake scenario, me being like, oh, my budget's 500, no more. Like, I'm not going to bend my budget just so I can get what I was like inquiring about. Like, I came in here knowing the number, and I wish that you would have just told me up front, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's like the biggest flaw.
I feel like it's frustrating on both levels, like both sides.
Yes.
Like, as a bride and as a vendor, like, it can both be frustrating. And I'm always that type of girly that can see two sides, because I'm such an empath. But also, like, there's something wrong with my eye. Like, I feel like there's something underneath my eye, and I keep on trying to pick at it, but
Do your eyebrows waxed?
Do I get my eyebrows waxed? No. I pluck them.
I was gonna say they look good, but I pluck them
Oh,
too.
thanks. I thought she was going to be judgmental and say, they look ugly.
Sip it. No. So unpopular opinion, another reason why I would want photographers to like put their prices on the website is because when it comes to pricing yourself, I think that there's a lot of things that come into play. First and foremost, you need to price out all your bills, and you need to see like, okay, if my rent is this much, my phone bill, my gas, whatever, all of that, you have to factor into your pricing, and you have to also factor in like paying yourself on top of that. Like, I want to price out.
Did that person just do that?
Yes.
Oh my God. That person just passed somebody on the shoulder. Welcome to Atlanta, guys.
Yeah, or the butt freak nowhere before you get to Atlanta, which is probably just as bad. But what was my point? So coming from like, that's what I have to do to figure out all of my bills, like how much all my subscriptions are for a year, like every single bill and everything all combined. Plus, I want to obviously make money. I don't want to just break even every month, because what's the point of that? So on top of all of that, I want to base my prices based on me, whatever. But also, if Susie and Joe Photography is charging, let's say she's charging $3,000, and her work is like mediocre, but we fall under the same category, I want to be a competitive price for that. And I'm going to maybe price it lower if like that's what I'm feeling, or I price it exactly where she is, so I can be like a competitor. Like, I've looked at other photographers' pages to be like, okay, I wonder how much she charges. Like, I really looked up to their work. Like, what would her clients pay for this? And like, where am I matched on that level? It gives you like a scale. Not like I'm like, okay, your Susie and Joe Beth Photography charging $3,000. I'm going to charge $3,000. Not just charging because she's charging, but charging to see what people in your area are going to pay for, see how successful they are with that pricing, see how long you can run a business with those prices. So I think that it's multi-layered. It's very multi-layered.
Yeah, and pricing is very taboo. Like we said, like, it's not something that people are just so open to talk about. And I feel like it shouldn't be taboo. Like, Are you all right?
I'm yawning.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We just got passed by a Mazda. So.
Mazda's not Maserati?
Mazda.
Oh.
Have you seen that TikTok that's just like Maserati?
No. I haven't seen that one.
So I keep on quoting a TikTok trend that Hailey doesn't get.
I'm more on like mom talk, baby, dog talk. Olivia's not necessarily there yet.
And I won't ever be. Thanks. Good night. I'm on funny TikTok. So like, I send her all the funny ones. Like, I am the funny one. Anyways, so I was wanting Hailey to watch Love is Blind, and throughout like the whole season, they keep on saying like, I like that, and I keep on quoting that Justin Bieber reference. It's just like, I like that laugh. And Hailey doesn't get it.
No, I get that, because he did that interview whenever he was a kid.
What was the one that I was saying that you didn't get? What's call your nipples?
I was gonna say, are we explicit on this one in this podcast?
But I was making a joke that like, they were like talking. If you've watched Love is Blind, obviously you know the concept. But they were in the pods, and they were like kind of talking dirty to each other, and I was like, "What's the color of your nipples?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So,
but I got it when once I saw the scene, and then she explained it to me. But I'm not a mind reader, even though I wish. A flaw about me is that I can't read minds, even though I really do wish I could.
Well, it's also a life flaw. That's not a photography flaw. Another flaw that I have is I feel like I don't post enough on Instagram. And if I do post, it's not because I want to, it's because I have to.
That also can be from burnout, a season of burnout.
But like posting doesn't really give me much joy anymore unless I'm like posting something that and every time I post I love the images. Don't get me wrong, but like I do not find Instagram.
I wish they had like
I love you Instagram, I do, but I just don't find it appealing anymore.
I think that it would be better if like nobody had likes. Like no, it couldn't even it literally would just be a square of a post. I think that for part of the thing that sucks out the joy of posting is having to one up your previous post that got a lot of attention and likes. I love once it's there, once it's like my collage, my portfolio of work, once it gives me like what I need it to give, love it. It's just getting to that point. So like creating like a good enough caption and taking the time to like put it all in, adjust it all. It's like the logistics I cannot deal with that suck the joy out of it.
Yeah, and I'm just at the point where I don't even care about analytics. Like I will post Sunday through Saturday. I don't care what time I post. I could post at 12 a.m. I just don't see the joy in it anymore. And maybe it is because like they're not pushing photos as much as they used to, and like reels are a big thing or whatever, but it just kind of is like meh. Yeah, meh.
Yeah, I agree. It's
But I also have this really bad thing that I do, which actually I surpassed 50 posts. Are you proud of me?
I'm so proud of you.
So like I do this thing where I overthink.
No, you used to. You don't anymore.
Okay. I used to overthink my feed so much, and I would
literally almost be in tears. She would be stressed so much. So deeply concerned with
because I just cared so much. Like I wanted people to go to my feed and be like, wow, this is aesthetically pleasing. And I'm just to the point where I just don't care about that anymore. Like I want
sorry.
I want people to
I just got a reference to Love is Blind when that dude was getting all deep and she was doing jumping.
Oh my god. Yeah, I really wanted to be one of those photographers. Like, I wanted to be an aesthetic photographer, but I'm at the point now where I do not care. Like, I want to post my work because I love it, and I want to post it because it's good work, and I really am so proud of myself. So I just got to the point where I'm just like, you know what? I don't even dare care. And so what was the point of what I was saying? I used to overthink my feed so much, and I would archive. I didn't delete photos. I never have deleted a photo. I've archived them. So they're there. I could put them back up, but I won't.
Yeah, I'm not one of those photographers that's kept every single photo I've ever posted, because if there's something that's like my old work, my older edits, my older style, I think I change more, and I'd only want my current style, the current past. I mean, there is still stuff up from like one of my first sessions ever, but I wanted that to be there. But a lot of the posts, like majority of my old posts, get archived or deleted. I've deleted so many posts because I don't like it in my archived.
Yeah, and I think that that's like okay to delete things, but I was at a point where I had no pictures, like, and I wondered why I wasn't booking. I'm so silly. But yeah, I just don't find the joy in it anymore. But every time I post reels, they do well. So I'm not complaining, really.
It's a hit or miss for me, but
Can we talk about how rude people were to us on our reels?
Yeah.
So
you know what? All publicity is good publicity.
Exactly. But so we posted a reel on our Instagram on One Thing at a Time Pod on Instagram. It was a clip of our Halloween podcast, and I guess people just didn't understand that we are wedding photographers and stuff, and people were being so mean. People were like, why do girls care about these things?
Someone, there was a decent amount that I'm like, did I miss one? But someone was talking about how that's like not a wedding superstition or whatever. But the video of us is like me forgetting about what we were talking about. Like, it was funny. So I don't know.
They got pulled over, dude. The Mazda that speeded past us got pulled over.
Good. Screw them. Comet isn't my friend. God.
Karma is a cat purring in my lap because it loves me. Oh, I don't think we've talked about this. That we got Taylor Swift tickets. Y'all. We had to fight through the trenches.
Her mom had everything on a dock, ready in hand. The code, copy and pasted. I mean,
my mom is a G. So how'd we end up on the floor anyway, you say? My mother. That's how we ended up on the floor. Okay? Yeah, so we're going to be so close to Taylor Swift that we actually could smell her, but we're not going to be weird about it.
Speak for yourself. Because if I have the opportunity to smell her, or she comes down on like the floor and like walks through the aisles, you best believe I'm going in touch with her.
Let's go ahead and put this out in the universe that we will meet Mama Swift, and she will give us backstage patches.
We will meet Taylor Swift.
We will meet Taylor Swift. Okay.
And then we'll tell her what she says to the pod, because we will say, hey, Taylor, say something to our pod that we talk about you sometimes.
And then we're going to be like, also, we are wedding photographers, so hit us up, girl. But yeah, we got Taylor Swift tickets. That was really fun. That was also the day that I was like really like the sickest, I think, and I was just like not okay.
I was literally like, I'm gonna go throw up, and I was like, please don't. And your dog was squeaking the toy while you were like in a ball on the ground.
It was just a stressful day. It was very stressful, but we conquer and we persevere. Okay, we prayed.
Yeah, we did pray. We prayed hard too.
I said, Lord, I want this so bad. And then you bloom where you are planted, girlies, and I think we're meant to be there. So yeah. Flaws. Anyways, back to flaws.
That was your palate cleanser for this topic. So we will occasionally have a palate cleanser for you. Who cares? It's our podcast, so you can do whatever you want. Thanks.
Yeah, let me look at our numbers from that reel that went viral, because oh wow, 136,000 people have seen it. But
keep embarrassing because I'm literally being a twat, awful. Like, I'm so annoying. Like, I'm literally like, what? What were we doing? What were we talking about? Oh yeah, ha 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 ha! Follow Olivia and laugh. I'm like, why is that one me being stupid? I'm a very highly intelligent person. Whatever.
Did you fart?
I just did, yeah. So I cannot smell or taste. Like, it's non-existent. Hold up. I know the people will be able to hear this.
Wow. Oh my god, Hailey. What? You just swerved.
You're fine. It was a little one.
Okay.
Why is it 3 o'clock and the sun's about to set?
It's not 3. Oh.
It's not 3.
It is 3. Okay, so where are we? If we're an hour.
We're an hour and 48 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Tarversville.
Okay, cool beans.
So if anyone from listening is from here.
Yeah. I don't think they could hear you, but.
Sorry.
Yeah, so if we post a reel, be nice.
Yeah. We didn't do anything wrong. We're just posting what we love, and so be nice. I mean, if you do be mean though, like, we be commenting back, so like, but if you're nice, we comment back, so just comment and be nice. Thanks. Sometimes we might delete your comment if it's mean though.
I didn't delete any comments.
Well, I'm saying if it's mean enough, we will.
Yeah, because the thing I've learned about people on the internet is that they are really brave, and behind a screen they can comment whatever they want, and sometimes you just have to um, not even care, not even give them the time of day. So delete. Meep.
Yeah.
Do you have any more flaws? I feel like we have a lot of flaws, but like,
not being open to no, never mind.
what were you gonna
I was
say?
gonna say not being open to working with new people, but I'm not closed-minded. Like, I'm very open-minded, and I've met many of a different friends. But no, flaw is that it's hard to trust people in the photography industry that I guess would be considered competitors, quote unquote. Because, like, for me and Olivia, we have different editing styles. So I don't necessarily, like, I don't think Olivia is my competition. I think that Olivia, just like you have coworkers, like, unless you're, like, at a really, like, aggressive job, I don't view my coworker, like, I view Olivia as a threat or competition. So I don't like how I have to worry. Like, if you were unavailable and I needed to help someone else, like, I kind of worried. Like, I don't necessarily trust them, like, all the time because I don't want them to sabotage or anything, or I'm just more weary of working with people that I don't know because I don't know what they're capable of or if I can trust them or.
Right, you don't know their intentions.
Exactly.
Like, I think that's a fear for like anything, you know, like you're not very trusting, like, and that's not a bad thing. You're just not a trusting person, and I feel like I'm very trusting, and I get into situations that are a little bit complicated because of it, because I am a trusting person. I always see the good in people, but like I shouldn't, because the world has proved me wrong so many times, but I still trust people.
Yeah, I'm not like I'm a trusted person. Like, I'm very, very loyal. But I've been screwed over and put in so many positions that I don't want to risk it for the biscuit, if that makes sense. And it just makes me, I'd rather just cut out any potential to be in a situation where I'm screwed over, because I have, from service people, from clients, from in life in general, with friendships, relationships, have been screwed over. So,
Right. Yeah, that's probably one of my biggest flaws, is I'm a little bit too trusting.
I have a flaw, is that I hold, like, grudges. Now, like, I'm forgiving to an extent to the people that I love, like, truly unconditionally love. Like, in my marriage, it's like bad. I do not hold a grudge at all. And, like, but Evan's like the best at this. But I struggle sometimes, like, holding grudges, like, against people. Like, I mean, Evan's like my one exception because I do, like, pretty much forgive him with anything, but I, with everybody else, struggle, and I don't forgive easy. And I feel like you're the same way. Like, you hold grudges like me.
Well,
But, like, you're ruthless. You're ruthless. Like, if you will, like, full on, doesn't matter, nothing, no ifs, ands, and buts.
well, it's because I'm such a trusting person, and I feel like if you do something because I'm so trusting and you betray me, I'm going to hold a grudge because I trusted you.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can forgive somebody, but you cannot ever forget.
Agreed. That's how I literally live my life a lot of the time. Because Evan is, it doesn't matter. Someone could honestly, like, spit in his face, be mean, like, poop on him, and he would forgive them. Whereas I'm like, literally, screw you. I'm putting you in the hospital next time I see you. Like, I hate you. Blah. I'm going to hurt you.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably one of our flaws.
Yeah.
I don't hold grudge. I've never had a reason to hold a grudge against you. Like, I've never been mad at you.
We've never like beefed, like true beef. Like I highly am like, I disagree with this and I'm mad at you. Blah blah. Like we bicker like siblings. Like, do this. I don't want to do that. Okay, fine, then do this. I'm hungry. I don't want to go there. Why did you do that? Why are you driving like that? Why'd you not crop this image correctly? Why'd you do that?
You didn't straighten that one image,
Sorry,
and it was agitating.
That's okay. But like, it's all bicker. Like, we've never gotten in a fight or had any falling out, or like, I feel like we know boundaries. Like, there are some conversations that like we completely agree on, so there's no room for like a fight with that. But the conversations that we do differ, like, we're not going to sit there and harp on it and talk about it until we are on the same page. You know what I mean? But I think that's like growing up in general, and like with
I just think that goes like, that's just a maturity thing.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Because only an immature person would try to convince you to change your mind.
Yeah, like majority of the time. Like, they're like a know-it-all, right? You need to see it my way, not open your eyes, think about it this way. There's other ways to do it. Your way is not necessarily like, but they're coming at it from a place of like, I'm changing your mind. You're wrong. I'm right. So, because I think that there's things that I will talk to you about that I'm like, you need to like understand it from a different perspective. Just think about it, not necessarily exactly be in the brain that I'm in and do it exactly how I'm doing it, but think, broaden your horizons. I like, that's why I push you a little bit with everything, but mostly things with life. But I'm a pusher, and I'm a pushy, bossy person in general. So it's a personality trait, and I don't think that's a flaw.
It is quite definitely.
You need friends that are gonna push you. You don't want your friend that is gonna like bring you down. You need a friend that's like on like climbed up the ladder first and is like helping you up.
You have good intentions, and I will say I am very I have a lot of anxiety, and I don't think I would have done half of the things if Hailey wasn't there, because I just never like going to Savannah for a couple of days. I would have never done that. But like, I would have never done that.
I think that it's in life in general, you're gonna meet people that you're meant to meet for like specific reasons for that. Because like, I don't give any glory or anything or recognition to myself. It's God placed me as like a vessel for you so that I can like just open your eyes, make things a little like bring a little bit of perspective. Because it's like, if you have tunnel vision, you can only see things one way, but remove that vision and you can see all around, and like you can see outside perspectives, third party, like someone that has like a completely different, if they've done everything a certain way, they can do it different and they can help you with that. Because I feel like one of the reasons why you maybe have anxiety in general is because you've always done things a certain way, a certain routine, and you kind of need someone to help you break that, understand that, see the world around you differently. Not so that you can necessarily change, but that you understand. Because I think that knowledge is power, and we just got to roll deep. Period.
Well, like, and I still do, like, before this trip, I did get very anxious, but I couldn't tell if I was, like, anxious because I was scared or excited, or if I was still sick. But,
yeah.
But
I get like that. Anytime I, like, travel, like, usually I know my triggers, so I know what to do to not get like that. But it took me years of not being in this, like, you still live in your parents' house. Like, when I first moved away and I was doing things more often away from my childhood home, because I had only done everything until a certain point, and then once you leave your parents' house, it's like a completely different world. So you're in that transitioning phase that we're just in a different season. I had already gone through that. It took me going away from home and being away from my parents and leaving them for college to truly learn that the way of life I was living isn't how it's always going to be. So, yeah.
was like, yeah, we're in therapy.
We're in therapy.
Guys, welcome to One Thing at a Time, the therapy podcast where we talk about all things hell.
So, okay, this is your palate cleanser. So on One Tree Hill, I don't know if this is a spoiler if nobody has seen One Tree Hill. So skip like 2 minutes, maybe even more, for this story. So I love this. I love One Tree Hill. And in one of the episodes, one of the main characters has a brother named Derek. And so she'd never met her brother. She found out she was adopted in the show. So her brother that she thought was her brother named Derek came into the picture. And come to find out, it wasn't actually her real brother. It was a stalker that literally came and took the personality of the brother because she had like a live stream podcast online that she constantly was just like recording, and like he learned her patterns, and so he figured out through one of her things all of her life information, and he ended up like trying to like, he was obsessed with her, got a massive tattoo on the back, like it was insane. Love One Tree Hill. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. But I spoiled a major thing for you if you had. But anyways, he ends up like going to jail eventually, ... But I always am like, people are gonna freaking listen to the podcast because we're gonna get too deep because we're girls and we love to talk. And they're gonna learn our everyday schedule, our mannerisms, where we live. And that's how he found everything, was because of her podcast, of her just being let loose. So I don't know my point into saying that. I think that was more of like, I'm just talking to you, like, be careful of what you say on the internet because there might be a stalker. So yeah.
We've never given our location.
No.
We've never said where we are.
I'm so private that like even sometimes when I'm traveling, I don't say anything until afterwards or when I'm there, so people can't like follow me to where I'm going.
I feel like that's pretty standard. Like my parents,
your parents are like a big exception because majority of people do not think like that.
I was going to say, because my parents were always the type to be like, you need to be careful of what you post online. Don't post that we're away on vacation until after we get back.
Do your parents have social media?
No. And so that's why they were a little bit more like cautious with me. Like they didn't, like I really wasn't allowed. I really wasn't allowed to have social media until I was in middle school, which is, I guess, kind of standard. Like I didn't have a phone until I was in 7th grade, and that's only because I had to ride the bus home.
It's standard now, but whenever, like, I was one of the first people that got on Snapchat. I was in 5th grade, and like nobody was on the app, but all my friends wanted to be on it. So all of us like convinced our parents, like, because it was a brand spanking new app. And so I always had it from such a young age, and then it evolved into what it is now, which is like something completely different. But also Instagram was the same way. Like Instagram was a completely different place. Completely. Like it was not revolutionary. Like social media wasn't a thing. Like they had like MySpace, and they had like chat rooms, but it was small scale because you had to be like on computers at home. Whereas now it's literally in our phones. It's integrated into our like every single day, every waking second. There's jobs now for it. So it's a completely different, because for me, I had in 5th or 6th grade, maybe even younger, I got Instagram and Snapchat because they were completely different places. Even though my parents were always worried, they always cared about what I like posted and stuff. But my mom now one of my sisters is about to be a sophomore in high school, and she doesn't have Snapchat or TikTok. And she didn't get Instagram until she was like 8th grade.
Yeah, do you remember so I got Snapchat when I was in 6th grade. That was my first social media that I ever had. But do you remember when Snapchat would let you, in the little, the ghost thing, they would let you, like, take those pictures and you could make, like, a little GIF?
Oh, yeah.
I miss that. I really wish that they would bring that back.
I wish they would take out the face and and they would do best friends, like, but everyone could see it.
Yeah, so actually, I don't use Snapchat anymore. I just think I just grew out of it. Like, I just don't.
Snapchat.
I only use Snapchat to talk to you or to talk to Avery. I rarely post on my story. I just don't use it. So my only two best friends that I have are you and Avery.
Yeah, that's like me. Okay, so Olivia, Evan, my mom, and my sister are the only people and stuff that have that.
Yeah, and I don't even really, I am just growing out of it, and I would delete it, but I have so many memories on there that I don't want to.
That's fair. Okay. I don't like Snapchat, but I still have it because like I talk to Evan, but I don't ever post story stuff unless I'm like traveling and it's like really really cool and I want to keep it in my memories.
Hailey doesn't even have a Bitmoji.
I literally despise Bitmoji. I'm too old for it. I don't want it. I don't care for it. I won't make one. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, and I know people that are still like in their prime Snapchat, like they have a 2 million snap score. That could not be me. Like, I am nowhere near.
As long as I've had Snapchat, I maybe have 200,000.
Yeah, I
knew Evan was the one whenever his snap score was not even close to 1 million, and I was like, "Yep, you're a winner, chicken dinner."
I don't remember what Avery's snap score was when I met him, but I think it was really low. Yeah. Red flag. I mean,
no. Green flag. You mean.
Green flag. If they have a million snap score, that's a red flag. Mm-hmm. I wish I would have known that in high school.
I knew it.
But it's like if you've only had Snapchat, like how many people would you have to have on Snapchat to have a million snap score? Like you'd have to do streaks
like every single day, so consistently. Like when I say you're taking a photo and sending it to like 100 people, that's what my sisters used to be, and I used to be stressed out for her. I was like, that is like a chore. I remember I had a phase where I was so into it. So in order to not lose my streak with someone, I gave them my password, and people would ask me to keep their streaks so that.
Okay. You're unlocking a lot of memories for me right now because that was such a time in history. Like, I wish I could go back to when that's all that mattered.
Yeah, like when I tell you, I remember there was someone going on vacation for like a week, and they're like, "Hey, can you like make sure you like don't like can you keep track of all my streaks for me like while I'm gone?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, totally fine." So I literally twice a day would log in, send everybody, and then whenever it was time to like go to sleep, I'd put like S with a black screen, and everyone would just like open it and like not respond. Sometimes they would, but like so I wouldn't lose a streak. But it was so like that's such a chore. Like heck no, I don't have a streak with not a single person, including my husband.
The only person that I have a streak with is Avery, and I'm gonna be so sad when the day comes that we lose it.
You should do that on your wedding day. You should lose it.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, we should.
Long live the 1,000.
I think it's almost. Hold on, let me check. Jeez, these roads suck. It's 1,259. So
that's a commitment right there.
But it's not even like we try. Like it's just because we just
talk on Snapchat every day.
Yeah, I mean, we talk on text every day.
I don't know. Me and Evan are weird. Whenever we first started talking, it was on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Everything was on Snapchat. Like we would video call on Snapchat, we would text on Snapchat. It was just easier, main source of communication. So now if I need to text him, I will Snapchat him. Also, I do it because I don't want people reading the messages. If that makes sense. I'm just like, I don't know, I feel like people are like out to get me or something, and I just want to be able to read it. I don't know. So text, I don't really text him as much as
yeah, I feel you. I used to this is how psycho crazy I was for Avery when I first met him. I was still in high school, and I used to get my phone taken. at like 11. But it wasn't because of me. It was more because of my brother, because my brother would stay up all night and it just had to be equal. I don't know. Anyways, we're past that.
That's what they tried to tell you.
We're past that point. But I found my old iPad and I downloaded Snapchat on my iPad and I would hide it underneath my bed. And when I would get my phone taken away, I would get on my iPad and I would Snapchat. Thank you very much.
With my ex-boyfriend, when I was like literally a toddler, I would literally like call on my watch, like, because I used to have a watch, and I would call him on that.
The things we do for men,
For
boys.
Not and then take that the freak back, please.
It gets to the point where I just call every boy boys, like even if they're grown. Yes, and they get so mad about that.
No, some of them. Do not speak for all of them. Okay. Some of them get butthurt.
Yeah, but if I'm like, okay, boys, actually we're men. Actually, no, you're boys because you wouldn't be saying that.
A man doesn't need to explain himself like that, and you're a boy. A man knows and is sure of himself, and you're sitting here taking the time out of your day to no.
Are we gonna podcast through the Starbucks drive-thru?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. We're going to Starbucks. I don't even know where we're at, but there's an Outback. Okay, so we still have like an hour left of the drive, and we don't want this podcast to be 2 hours long. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it in 2 parts. So we're about to order Starbies, and I guess if you want to find out what we order, you can go on to the next podcast that will be up at the same time as this one. So you can find me at Olivia Rodriguez Photos on Instagram and TikTok, except for Facebook, which is Olivia Rodriguez Photography, because I'm too dumb to change it. And where can they find you, Hailey?
They can find me on Instagram, my website, Facebook, all at Hailey High Photography, and also TikTok, unless I already said that. But anywho,
you can find the podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and you can listen on Spotify, Apple, and really anywhere that you can find podcasts. So that is all. That is a wrap. Thank you for listening.
And we'll hear you next time. Bye.
Bye.